day he framed me for sexually harassing his daughter, I knew this wouldn't end with a simple apology. Someone wanted to destroy me, so I could only make him pay an even higher price. I didn't question him, didn't plead. I only memorized Mike's expression clearly as the security escorted me out. The arrogance in his certainty that I would be completely crushed marked the beginning of all accounts to be settled. Later, every piece of evidence, every counterattack, every recording struck back at him like a knife. Step by step, I made him understand that framing someone comes with consequences, and I would personally deliver those consequences to him. When the recording played in the conference room and the police stormed in, his face shifted from anger to panic, then from panic to despair. Later, in the prison corridor, he trembled, begging me to help him, to say a word for him. Too bad, he was no longer entitled to anyone's mercy. Because the moment he framed me, he sealed his own humiliating, regretful fate. That night, I returned home and told my wife everything. She was silent for a moment, then held my hand. I believe you. This cannot be your fault. Her eyes were firm and warm, giving me some comfort. Even when the world seemed to doubt me, at least she was on my side. The phone rang, and a thick envelope on the table caught my attention. It was from a lawyer, formal litigation documents. They detailed the alleged sexual harassment and demanded $1 million in compensation. I sat at the dining table, fingers trembling, but forced myself to stay calm. I knew this was not just about losing my job, it was an attack on my entire life. From that moment, I knew I couldn't let this continue. I had to uncover the truth and find who was behind this. The envelope spread before me, the heavy paper pressing like a stone on my chest. Every line carried false accusations and threats, claiming I harassed Sasha at the company and demanding $1 million. I read it multiple times, my fingers shaking, but reason told me not to panic. I set it down, took a deep breath, and began organizing my thoughts. My wife sat across from me, holding my hand. Don't panic. We'll handle this. I believe you, you didn't do it. I nodded, eyes on the envelope. I need to find out the truth and figure out who is orchestrating all of this. She nodded gently, understanding that this was not merely a misunderstanding, it was a carefully planned trap. In the following days, my life felt like it was swept into a whirlpool. Colleagues began avoiding me, calls went unanswered, emails ignored. Background checks showed my name tied to litigation records, and new job opportunities fell through. Every attempt at explanation was useless. Even at the supermarket, neighbors whispered, and I could feel the doubt in their eyes. I recalled previous experiences of being belittled and oppressed at work. In college, I once proposed an innovative project, only to be publicly dismissed by my advisor, told I didn't understand the industry rules. At work, I was reprimanded in meetings for sticking to principles, forced to do menial tasks, while others were easily praised. These experiences were like tiny cracks, eventually converging into today's predicament, being framed, humiliated, and stripped of dignity. Yet, these experiences also taught me calmness, observation, and strategy. Each oppression sharpened my tools, making me more aware of human nature and the mechanics of power. Sitting at my desk, staring at the envelope, I silently resolved, I would not wait passively, I would restore the truth and let justice prevail. I began gathering evidence. First, the interactions with Sasha. Chat logs, emails, meeting records, everything showed we had a normal professional relationship. Then, I investigated internal company surveillance and call records, focusing on Mike. I noticed Sasha's sudden change in attitude weeks ago, there had to be a reason. Reviewing office surveillance, I saw her enter the storage room that day while Mike watched oddly, as if deliberately monitoring her. To confirm my suspicion, I contacted an old colleague who had worked with me for years before I was fired. I cautiously explained the situation, hinting at a setup but without mentioning specific accusations. The colleague frowned, hesitant, then ultimately agreed to help. You've always been principled. If someone is framing you, there must be clues. We need to find them. For days, I immersed myself in legal documents, surveillance footage, and emails. Every detail could be a key to unraveling the mystery. I even recalled Sasha casually helping me with coffee, discussing work, sharing life stories. These ordinary moments became proof of my innocence. Meanwhile, Mike's behavior became increasingly erratic. He patrolled the office constantly, his words laced with impatience and warnings. Once, in the elevator, he gave me a cold look. "Don't think you can survive here. Legal documents are just the beginning." I smiled faintly, outwardly calm. "I just hope the truth comes out." He froze for a moment, a flash of anger in his eyes, but said nothing. My lawyer got involved, instructing me to prepare all supporting evidence and guiding me for the upcoming legal proceedings. I braced myself mentally, ready not only for court but also for social scrutiny. "We must ensure every piece of information is airtight," the lawyer said sternly. "This is your only chance." I nodded, mentally noting every detail. I knew revenge wasn't just about clearing my name, it was to make the mastermind feel the cost of trying to destroy me. With my wife, we planned strategy. She helped me sort evidence, simulated potential courtroom questions, and role-played every possible move Mike could make. "You will win. We'll expose everything," she whispered. Seeing her unwavering eyes filled me with strength. Past belittlements and humiliations now became the foundation for my calm, calculated plan. I knew I had the ability to reveal the truth and make Mike's trap backfire. Weeks later, a breakthrough came. Sasha reached out, her voice trembling but urgent. "I need to tell you the truth. My dad, he's lying. Everything was orchestrated by him." I froze, staring at the phone. "Are you sure? Tell me now." She hurriedly explained, 2 weeks ago, he started feeding me false accusations against you. I got scared, even misunderstood you." I gripped the phone, anger boiling. Why would he do this? He knew we were just colleagues. She sobbed. "He feared you'd surpass him. He wanted to destroy you." Her confession not only cleared my name but gave me the perfect opportunity to expose Mike. I began acting, no longer passive. I continued gathering evidence, contacting key witnesses and security staff. Every detail was analyzed, nothing proving my innocence was overlooked. I recorded Mike's every odd behavior, secret calls, surveillance monitoring, arranging private time with Sasha. Everything would become key evidence. I also mentally strengthened myself. Past humiliations, misunderstandings, unemployment, and societal pressure all became fuel for revenge. Every memory of Mike publicly humiliating me, of security's cold stares, I silently catalogued, planning his eventual reckoning. Through preparation, I transformed from a passive victim into a calm, strategic individual with the capacity for revenge. Past oppression and humiliation became the backbone of my plan. True revenge was not just punishing Mike, but sending a warning to anyone who had ever doubted or wronged me. With Sasha's help, I obtained a recording of Mike threatening her at home, admitting to orchestrating the setup. The recording was clear, exposing his scheme and his methods of control and manipulation. This recording would become the decisive evidence for turning the tables. Every night, my wife and I reviewed plans, simulated Mike's potential reactions, anticipated every legal step, and strategized psychological maneuvers. I pictured the scene, Mike terrified by evidence, facing public condemnation, legal punishment, and struggling helplessly before me. A cold thrill ran through me, but I knew patience was key. I was no longer the person who silently endured humiliation. I had evidence, strategy, allies, and the mind to reveal the truth and make Mike pay. All past oppression and humiliation had become the foundation of my revenge. Mike's threatening recording, Sasha's testimony, surveillance footage timeline, colleagues' corroborations, all arranged like sharp knives on the table. I sat in the living room, heart steady, knowing I was ready. That night, I called the company board secretary. Her voice cautious. "Yes. What's this about?" Calmly, I said, "I need to speak with the board." I have evidence of serious illegal activity by Mike. She paused. You're under investigation, you know this isn't usual. I understand. But you don't want to see a company assistant to the CEO framing an employee, manipulating his daughter into false testimony, and attempting to accuse someone of a crime. Her breath caught. I added softly, including violence toward his own daughter. 10 minutes later, an official reply arrived. I was asked to attend a board meeting the next morning at 10 a.m. The email ended with, "Please bring your evidence." That night, I slept soundly for the first time in weeks. The conference room was icy. 5 board members sat, serious, eyes sharp. Mike was called in. As soon as he saw me, his face darkened. "What are you doing here? This is an internal meeting, you have no right." I raised a hand. "Sit down." He sneered. "Who do you think you are?" The board chair interrupted coldly. "Mike, we asked him here." Mike froze, a flicker of panic in his eyes, but forced himself to sit. I opened my laptop and dragged the recording onto the table. Pressed play. Mike yelled on the recording, "If you dare say a word, you're out of my house. Do you hear me?" Sasha begged him to stop forcing her to lie. Mike sneered, "He has to fall before I rise. Don't think I don't know the board is praising him. Don't think I don't know they're impressed. You will do as I say, or I'll personally give you a lesson you'll never forget." The recording ended. Silence filled the room, heavy as a grave. Mike's breathing quickened, sweat on his forehead. "This recording is fake. Forged. He's trying to frame me." I played another testimony, Sasha's, detailing being coerced and intimidated into lying. Mike completely lost it. He tried to grab my laptop, but a board member shouted, "Sit down." He glared at me, eyes bloodshot. "This is revenge, your petty tricks." I looked at him calmly. "I'm just presenting the truth." He shook, pointing at me. "You're finished. I'll make sure you go to jail. I'll ruin you." I leaned back. "Oh. Then you better try in prison. Out here, no one will do it for you." The chair rapped the table. "Mike, effective immediately, you are suspended and under investigation." Another board member added, "Police are outside." Mike's face went pale. The door opened, 2 officers entered. Mike stared at them, lips quivering. Wait, we can talk. I'll pay, whatever you want, I'll give it." I looked down, closing my laptop. "I only want you to take responsibility for your actions." Mike was handcuffed, shaking. You can't do this, you know you've ruined me." I looked at him calmly. "You should have thought of that sooner." Mike being taken away, Sasha waited for me at the police station. Her face still bruised, but her eyes stronger. "I'm sorry," she said. I shook my head. "None of this is your fault." She sniffled. "Thank you for believing me." 2 weeks later, the police publicly disclosed the case. Mike orchestrated false accusations. Forced his underage daughter to give false testimony. Incited others to harass to frame me. Domestic violence. Forgery of evidence. Attempted obstruction of justice. Media reported continuously. No one defended him online, only anger and condemnation. I did not appear or respond to the press. I didn't need to. A month later, the court ruled. All charges against me dismissed. Company publicly apologized. High compensation for mental distress awarded. Rehire by the company at a higher position. I stood outside the courthouse, verdict in hand, calm. I hadn't just won, I reclaimed what was mine. The last time I saw Mike was in the prison hallway before he was escorted to state prison. He slouched, unshaven, trembling eyes, like an animal cornered. Seeing me, he froze. I beg you, tell them I'm not that bad, please. I looked at him, neither pity nor anger, just calm. Mike, every step you took was your choice. He trembled. I really I'm finished. I whispered, yes. Evil meets its consequence. The guards pulled him along. He looked back, eyes filled with fear. At that moment, I knew he finally realized what he truly lost wasn't his position, it was the dignity he once had. Back home, my wife had dinner ready. She hugged me lightly, it's over. I nodded, hung up my coat. The spring breeze outside carried a clean, peaceful scent. I had finally returned to my life. And the person who tried to destroy my world had sunk forever into the trap he set himself.